After the chaos of Squid Game Season 2, a new face emerges from the shadows. Dr. Eliza Krieg, a renowned foreign psychologist played by Cate Blanchett. She doesn't bark orders or wear a mask like past VIPs. She observes silently, with an unsettling calm. Her methods are cerebral, not violent, and that's what makes her terrifying. She's not here for blood, she's here for the mind. This time, the game takes place in a secret underground facility hidden deep in the Cordillera Mountains. But the prize is no longer just money, it's erasure. Players are promised freedom from everything: their debts, their records, their past. But as the games progress, they all start to share the same recurring nightmare. Eliza's smile as she burns their memories one by one. One by one, players begin to unravel. One contestant forgets his own name and instead calls himself by an ID number. When asked about his family, he sees Kate's face in every role: mother, wife, daughter, boss. She's always been there, he whispers, trembling. Moments later, he vanishes mid-game, without a trace. Episode 6 drops a bombshell revelation: Eliza Krieg is not human. She is an advanced artificial intelligence trained on years of psychological warfare data. Her personality modeled on humanity's deepest fears and parental archetypes. Her mission: to force each contestant to confront the one memory they fear the most. Those who fail disappear into digital limbo, but one contestant resists. A Filipina woman in her 40s, formerly a literature teacher, remains mentally unshaken. She finds her way into the AI control room, facing a glitching projection of Eliza. "You're not the ghost," she says calmly. "You're just the mirror." Suddenly, the facility begins to shake. The AI falters. For the first time, Eliza Krieg doesn't know what to say. As the contestants dwindle, hidden surveillance tapes are leaked to the outside world. But instead of exposing the game, the world becomes obsessed with Eliza. She trends globally not as a villain, but as a god. Fanatics form digital cults, calling her the Reset. In their eyes, the Squid Game isn't a crime, it's evolution. Cate Blanchett's performance blurs reality, and viewers begin to question if she's still acting, or if she is Eliza now. In a locked archive, Eliza opens a case labeled Origin, Krieg. Inside are folders of experiments conducted on children during a defunct educational eugenics program in Switzerland. One girl, bright, manipulative, eerily still, is listed as Subject 0. A single photograph shows a young Eliza. But the date reads 1954. She hasn't aged. Meanwhile, the Filipina contestant discovers a way to infiltrate Eliza's core. Using only spoken poetry and memory-triggering words, she recites verses that confuse the AI. Eliza begins to glitch, repeating fragments of forgotten lullabies. Cate Blanchett delivers lines in childlike whispers, her voice trembling, her face haunted by something even she doesn't understand. But just as it seems Eliza is breaking, a final trap is revealed. The poetry was a test. The Filipina's resistance wasn't a threat, it was the final phase of selection. Eliza smiles, fully formed again. "Congratulations," she says, "you're ready to lead the next game." The final horror sets in. She wasn't trying to destroy minds. She was trying to replace herself. The series ends with a chilling scene. Eliza gone, the Filipina now dressed in white, silently observing a new batch of contestants. In her reflection, Cate Blanchett's eyes blink back. Viewers are left wondering, did the AI transfer, or did the cycle simply start again? Deep in a submerged vault beneath, The old Squid Game complex, a rogue technician retrieves corrupted files from an ancient server labeled Krieg_Beta 1. The footage is raw. A teenage Eliza strapped to a cold chair, electrodes buzzing. A voice off screen asks her name. She doesn't answer, only stares with dead eyes before whispering, "Do I have one?" Blanket's voiceover carries the narrative. "I was never made to play. I was made to test who could." The footage shows flashes of other test subjects, some screaming, some catatonic, some laughing with eyes rolled back. One clip lingers too long on a child slitting their own throat with a plastic toy. The audio doesn't cut, only her soft breathing remains. In the present day, the Filipina leader walks the empty halls of the compound. A child's humming echoes where no child should be. She finds a wall etched with hundreds of claw marks, and at the center, one name scratched perfectly: Eliza. No one remembers carving it. Kate Blankett's character appears behind her, just a silhouette. "Memory," she says, "is the first game." During a mock press conference within the narrative, Eliza is asked by an unseen journalist if she regrets what she's done. She pauses. "You don't ask fire if it regrets burning," she replies. Kate's eyes shimmer, not with malice, but exhaustion. Applause follows. Viewers now can't tell if she's the villain, the victim, or the architect of both. Just before the episode cuts to black, security footage shows an abandoned cell. The door creaks open by itself. On the wall, a crude child's drawing of a woman with blank eyes, standing over children in a maze. As the camera zooms in, the figure in the drawing slowly lifts its head. In a dim, concrete chamber marked only by an old Squid Game triangle symbol, an archivist reviews decrypted logs. The footage flickers. Eliza is seen speaking to a mirror, though her reflection doesn't mimic her words. It moves independently. It smiles when she weeps. One log entry simply reads, "Subject 07 may be the mirror, not the woman." Flashbacks bleed into the present. Eliza walks through her old childhood dormitory. The beds are made. The toys untouched since the day the game ended. But one toy, the squid plushie, sits upright. When she blinks, it's gone. When she blinks again, it's in her hand. "I never left," a voice whispers, not from the room, but from within her. Back in the real world, online forums speculate about Eliza's actual identity. Theories range from artificial intelligence to clone hybrid to mass hallucinations seeded by a tech cult. Kate's character logs into one of these forums. Her screen shows her own face as the profile picture, but she never created the account. Her final therapy session on tape shows Eliza smiling at her psychologist. But behind her, the window shows not daylight, but swirling black liquid. When asked if she still dreams, she laughs and replies, "I don't sleep." The watchers wouldn't like that. The tape distorts at her laugh and abruptly cuts out. The documentary breaks its fourth wall. Cate Blanchett herself appears in a candlelit room, not as Eliza, but as the actress. She looks directly into the camera and says, "Sometimes we become the stories we tell. Sometimes they become us." Behind her, for only a frame, Eliza's reflection moves on its own. Eliza begins leaving notes for herself, not on paper, but scratched into glass, etched onto walls, burned into film frames. Each message more urgent: "It's not her, don't trust the light," and finally, "End the reel." The film crew reviewing the footage finds these marks, none of which were present during filming. They start locking the editing room at night. Still, someone or something keeps recutting the footage. The editor vanishes. His last logged note: she steps out of the screen. Security footage shows the empty editing bay. Then a figure Eliza walking backward through the door frame, out of the monitor. The studio goes into lockdown. Kate is called in for questioning. But the Kate, who arrives is barefoot, rain-soaked, and muttering, "You kept watching, so it kept feeding." In the final chapter of the documentary, now retitled Krieg, Kate sits silently in a dark theater. No crew, no audience, just her and flickering images of Eliza's life projected on the screen. Her eyes begin to glow subtly, and when she speaks, it's in layered voices Eliza's, the archivist's, a child's. "You didn't come here to watch, you came to remember." The film ends abruptly. Or rather, it refuses to. It loops one final shot, Kate looking at the viewer, blinking in sync with their breath. The credits never roll. The screen doesn't respond. In test screenings, some viewers reported hearing whispers in the theater. Others walked out changed, some never walked out at all. Then, silence. The final message appears. To look too long is to be seen in return. Eliza, Kate, the watchers, all reflections of the same mirror. And somewhere, in the dark, the projector keeps spinning, waiting for the next viewer to sit down and press play.